This is our video log for
Monday.
What is today? The 7th?
7th, yes.
It is 9:10 a.m. We are going to get muffins.
Chocolate muffins, if available.
If available. Emphasis on if available. And pie. We're waiting for Steve. Here he comes. He's a bit of a slowpoke. The runt of the litter, you might say. But we're going to go now before he sees us. Bye.
Good morning. It's Monday, and here we are in the Adirondacks at Lake George, and we're going to go into this chapel and take a look around. Follow me. So this chapel was built in 1834. And it's dedicated to Ellen someone because of her dedication to the poor people in jail. So here we are, the chapel. Oh, what's this? Oh, look at the door. Let's go through it. Let's see what's inside. Well, it certainly is dark. Got a shovel here just in case. Oh, it's the outside. How cool is that? We went inside, came through the dark tunnel, outside.
Definitely not what I was expecting. In the middle of a garden. Tight security they have around here. And welcome to this old house. This is our 5th video log for June the 6th, 2011. We are at Lake George in upstate New York, and I'm with Wills Osborne. He is of Llewellyn Realtors, Cameron and Osborne team. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jason. It's great to be here.
Well, Wills, we're very excited to have you, and I think our audience will all agree that you are probably the best-looking person on that half of the deck.
Well, I'd have to agree with them.
Yeah. So I first want to start off with a few emails from our listeners, and the first one is, of course, how do you get such how do you have such success in real estate?
Well, the greatest answer I can give is a story. Once upon a time, I was a child and I built my first house, and then I sold the house to a little old lady. She paid a lot of money for it. With the money, I went and I bought and sold another house. And so that's how I got to where I am today.
Which is at Lake George in upstate New York in 2011.
That's right.
In a one-room cabin with a loft.
That's right.
Didn't go very well, did it?
It did. It went great. I'm having a great time.
Good. Any highlights from you'd like to express to our audience about the trip so far?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We've done lots of cool things.
I think the most interesting thing is that as a group of friends, we have all gotten to know each other. Steve and Wills for the first time, and me with each of them getting to spend some concentrated one-on-one time in very small doses has been great, as well as the group dynamic has been fun.
It's wonderful as long as you keep the doses small.
Yeah, right, like your gin and tonics. Keep them doses small.
Well, a lot of tonic.
A lot of tonic and water. But we've had a great time, and I think there have been definitely some learning experiences this last 4 days, and I think we've all come to a place of centeredness. See the other video. And I think we've all had a wonderful time. It's unfortunate that Steve can't be in that chair back there to join us.
He could, but
he's lighting the fire.
And he doesn't like to be in the video.
So, anything to add, Wills, before we depart?
If you ever get a chance to come up to Lake George, I'd highly recommend it. The water is great, a little bit chilly. The food is great, the chili is wonderful. A little bit hot. The hot is great. A little bit fiery. The fire is also wonderful, especially at night on a cold night.
All right, one other story that I wanted to share, and from this earlier this afternoon, I had gone swimming, as I've done every day the last 3 days, for 30 seconds each, and it was a lot of fun. And Will's promised that he would go in the water if I went in today.
Did not promise. Promised that Steve would.
Who's telling the story?
Go ahead. Back to you, Jason.
And so I went in and was expecting him to follow suit, and he did not. And so, unfortunately, there was a series of negotiations that led to nowhere, and there was a UN mandate that force was needed to settle the situation on the dock. Troops went in, they seized him and threw him in the lake.
Carpe diem.
For those of you who don't know Latin, that means Jason won. My name in Latin is Carpe. And
diem doesn't mean one.
And no, it means supreme. Anyway, so he was in the lake, and it was wonderful, and I just want to put that on the record. Anything to add?
I'd like to add.
Thanks so much. That's very great. We've got endless disk space, so share whatever you...
I jumped in the water on my own volition. Jason had nothing to do with it. He tried, but failed.
It was like watching a person walk on water the way he dodged going into that water. I thought I had him, but he managed...
I ran out and around the buoy, came back in on the other side.
Yeah. See you tomorrow. This is a terrible game.
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't even want to look at that. Smile and smirk. And why wouldn't you think this is a terrible game?
Because it makes so many other people angry.
First,
and all it takes is a few roll of the dice.
We're in a very intense part of the game where you can probably see from the camera that my hands are shaking, both because it's cold and because my nerves are at their breaking point. And I'm very interested to see what exactly Steve is doing. Another good night in Demilog. Hey, why don't you tell the folks at home what just happened? Oh, wow, he's so shocked he can't even share about how Red has taken over all his territories in North and South America and Australia.
It's a tragedy, but I have cards and I get 30 this turn. We'll see what happens. Check back for an update.
Any thoughts, Steve? Care to give us an update?
I've taken Australia back. And that's about all I have right now, but with the cards I'm going to play next hand, I'm in great position.
Baloney. Baloney. Baloney, I hope. This is our last day here at Lake George.
Day 4.
Lake George, on the rocks, and shaken, not stirred. It's been a great weekend. We had a wonderful time, and today we head back, the long 8-hour drive back to DC. Any thoughts?
Well, it's sad to leave. It's been so pleasant out here. Right now it's probably one of the best days that we've experienced, but it'll be great for the drive, I guess.
That's true, it will be. You can get tan in the car.
Yeah, I got my shoulders burnt. I don't usually burn in the sun, but yesterday I was out on the lake for a couple hours and my shoulders are burnt. It'll be nice though, because I had a farmer's tan once and now it'll just all even out with color.
Now it's a NASCAR tan. It's got a tank top. Congratulations.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
Last night was an interesting night. Had some sort of biting bug up my shirt in my sleeping bag. Very exciting. Always love to have that happen. And we had a mouse in the kitchen eating our graham crackers. So it was an eventful night, to be sure. And
not to mention we had a rousing game of Risk. If you saw the previous post, you would understand that.
Yeah. Of course, our viewers at home will know that by the time they watch this, we'll have already returned to Maryland, had the videos processed and exported and put on the computer and uploaded, so this is all old news. I'm sorry. You want to apologize too?
I'm not sorry. If you watch these videos out of order, this will be new news.
That's true. true. I hadn't thought about it that way. Anyway, we will try and update you again. No promises, but
maybe when we stop for lunch.
Yeah, maybe when we stop for lunch.
Get ready to look for a delicious hamburger or something else edible.
I don't want hamburgers again.
I don't really want hamburgers either.
Not a hamburger, but something else.
Maybe a taco?
Maybe. So, we'll see you then. Hey! Now for another update on the Lake George 2011 road trip. We are now in Manhattan, which is not the part of New York that I usually like to go to. But as luck would have it, as wills would have it, that's where we are.
Here we are on the island itself.
It's very heavy traffic, which is totally atypical for New York. And so we're kind of creeping along at under the speed limit, 10 miles per hour to be exact. And you know, I think the most noteworthy thing about this is that we saw the Empire State Building
from a distance.
From a distance.
It was beautiful and stately.
And kind of humidity.
You could just see the tip of it over the trees.
Yep. And we're getting a nice little Bronxy thing. So now when I hear people refer to the Bronx, I'll know what they're talking about.
Exactly. And we thought we might stop by and see Selling New York headquarters.
Yeah.
The HGTV show.
Definitely. You know, the Clyers and the Myers and the Byers and the whoever else works on that show.
Absolutely. And of course we've got Steve. Here's his first appearance on our show in the back seat there.
Welcome, Steve.
Enjoying his time. Glad to be here again. He's glad to be here with us.
We were just talking about how maybe, you know, if we pool all our money, we'll buy one of these tenant buildings, these apartment buildings, and make a killing.
I think we could do that if we had more than $150 pooled together.
Well, you know, once we multiply that times $1 million, I think we'll be there.
I think we've got it. Great.
Well, you know, we'll keep you updated and any changes in our status. But for right now, we're just sitting in traffic in the Bronx.
In the Bronx, New York. We love New York.
New York! Thanks for the ice cream.
You're welcome.
Here we are. We're at Leo's. Leo's ice cream shop.
I think so. Leo's ice cream shop.
It's amazing ice cream.
We're in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Home of the Carlisle Indians.
Very near Harrisburg. A little bit south on 80.
It's a beautiful day. Great day for ice cream, but it melts very, very quickly. What flavor is that?
This is chocolate chip cookie dough, wrapped in a homemade, handmade waffle cone.
And this is cookies and cream, caressed in the loving embrace of a store-bought, mass-produced sugar cone.
He claims that strawberry is his favorite, but you can clearly see that he's faltered when it came down to the implication.
You can clearly see that I have retracted in the face of opposition to my liking strawberry ice cream, making me a wimp. I also like Oreo, or cookies and cream. The name's interchangeable. It's delicious. Oh.
So from our last update, we took another tour out of the ordinary. We weren't expecting to go. We stopped for gas, and then we ended up taking a highway for at least 5 miles in the wrong direction.
Very much the wrong direction. Took us way out of our way. We ended up having to, as you saw, I mean, even just getting here took a long time.
It did.
We went in the wrong direction, and but I think it was totally worth it in the end.
I think so.
Yeah.
The ice cream is delicious.
Another thing to note is that even though Steve's been sleeping, he's been in our hearts and minds and thoughts, as I'm sure he's been in yours, our television audience. And we've actually had some really good discussions in the car that have really been uplifting, and I'm very grateful for them. Haven't they been?
They've been great.
You're not just saying that, are you?
Not just saying that, am I?
Well, until next time.
Good evening. And happy crème de l'amour.
Crème de l'amour! Boy, that was terrible. I don't know why we ever do this anymore.
I'm gonna head out.
You're not gonna head out? Come on! We're here! Come on, Steve!
We made
it back! Dover, aren't you glad to see us? We're back in Maryland after a wonderful 1,230-mile journey. through Manhattan, the Bronx, the Adirondacks, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg,
Pennsylvania.
as a whole. It was a tremendous journey. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad you could come along.
Until next year.
See you then. You want to have the final word? Go ahead and have the final word.
The final word.
Bye.